and welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Bros. This is Big Baby Ben.
Billy the Kid,
Troy Black, baby.
let's get it.
So we got a kind of tour in one today. We got some random questions, and then we got two events from SmackDown that need absolutely covered.
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna start out Troy Black with how important was Evolution to Batista and Randy Orton's career?
I think Evolution was very important to their careers based off the fact that they're dominant. It was different. It changed the game. It also showed people that you could never imagine being tag team partners could be tag team partners. I think that opened up the door for a lot. And that being said, I mean, their fucking chemistry in the ring was unmatched damn near. Like Evolution is probably definitely one of my favorite factions by far. How you feel?
Evolution was an amazing group, and it was headed by Ric Flair and Triple H, and I feel that if Randy and Batista hadn't been brought in, and Randy becoming one of the youngest world heavyweight champions, they their careers could have went a different direction. Now, granted, both of them have they present a great atmosphere when they're in the ring. The fans absolutely love them, but to get to that point in their careers, they had to be a part of that group Evolution. Evolution spiked their careers. And then when they decided to split from the group, that was when their careers continued to heighten. But Evolution was definitely a very big part of making their names known in every household.
Now, Troy, Billy, as training wrestlers yourselves, you also do the podcast and train.
Mhm.
Um, being so young in the game and getting Ric Flair and Triple H in his prime. I'm talking prime heel Triple H, the game that was obsessed with the world title. Ric Flair obsessed with making Evolution the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Mhm.
Did that really play a major part with being so young in the business, kind of having those two mentors on you, traveling with them up and down the road, training in matches together, talking all the time? You got to think that helped Randy and Batista really explode early in the company.
I mean, when it rains, does your grass get wet? You feel me? Like, I mean, that's how I feel, of course. That's like me getting like mentored by like Edge at the yeah, that's gonna skyrocket my like career. Even if you already have a career going for yourself, you can always go higher. And that's part of also the challenge of being a wrestler, going to the next level, always exceed, making your goals, achieving your goals, and making new goals way above that. You know what I'm saying? Always going to the next level. That's always the challenge of being a wrestler. So I feel like yeah, that definitely helped out the career. You got mentored by two of the best of the business to ever do it from two different eras. Absolutely, that helps.
Yeah, having a great mentorship and having somebody that actually legitimately knows what they're doing and how to play the game, no pun intended. Um, Having that in your corner definitely helps motivate you to learn and know the right things that you need to know in order to be a part of that business, the WWE wrestling business, just in general. So if they didn't have that, they, like I've said before already, I mean, they probably wouldn't have gotten as far as they did or as quickly as they did, because they had those two mentors, Ric Flair and Triple H, in their corner to help them out.
Right, and the Rock and Sock connection match at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and getting a feud with Mick Foley. That's got Mick Foley, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion. Everyone's opinion is different in the wrestling world, but best bump taker in the business was Mick Foley,
Yeah,
hands down.
he could take a hell of a bump, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So when you get put into these hardcore matches and these extreme rules matches with Mick Foley, it's hard not to have a 5-star match with a man that's willing to lose his ear.
Yeah. I mean, a man that's willing to go through,
Hell,
yeah, yeah, and then some.
yeah, he's willing to take it all. He don't give a crap.
Even the devil would have a hard time figuring out how to play certain man. You don't have to sit down and think about it together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And we're kind of staying in that era, but we're going to go a little bit before then. We're going to go on to the hardcore title. Halliburton was, I mean, it was made as a joke in giving to mankind as a joke, but did it not become one of the most important titles of that era?
I feel like it was definitely important. I feel like it brought more it I feel like it created space in the WWE universe where people that might not have been, making it as big as they wanted to, it gave them another option. Like, hey, well, if you're not making it doing, singles, or hey, you're not, making it doing this or tags, check out this. If you're willing to go through this and through that, if you like this type of stuff, then hey, maybe you might excel there. I think it definitely opened up the window for opportunity for more people to grow. I think it was very important.
Yeah, the hardcore title, it was presented as a joke, presented as like, hey, here you go, because you're the badass, the hardcore, the legend that's willing to do anything to take an ass whipping, go through an entire hell in a match just to pick up the victory. But it was an opportunity that Mick Foley saw, and he said, "Let's make this bigger." And that title, he carried it to help him heighten his career, and also bring in bigger names that were willing to take just the same kind of ass whipping as he was.
You know, kind of like what Troy said, I kind of agree with him tonight. It took the talent that wasn't making it in any division at any given time, and it said, "Hey, if you're willing to bust your head clear open and get hit with a metal chair tonight so hard that it's gonna ring your ears for 2 weeks."
Let's do it.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. It took guys like Crash Holly to new levels of performing on WrestleMania and
Yeah.
excelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys remember Big Cass?
Yep.
He's now Big Bill over there in TNA and getting used very correctly. I don't know if any of you follow TNA or watch highlights of TNA, but Big Bill has a nasty choke slam now.
Oh,
I believe it.
And he is bigger, stronger, faster, looks healthier, and looks like a complete beast. So did WWE drop the ball when they dropped Big Cass?
that's a hard, tough one to say. I mean, they've dropped people before. Like, look what happened with Drew McIntyre. He was like he was always tall, but he was skinny, and he was always built well, but he wasn't no beast like he is now. And they dropped him. He went back and did what he wanted to do, and went to different divisions, beefed up, came back, and they're like, okay, well, you've improved. We'll take you. So, and on top of that, maybe honestly, maybe the wrestler just wasn't comfortable there. I mean, just because it's WWE and it's supposed to be one of the biggest brand doesn't mean that you're going to be comfortable being there. Your environment, what's going on in your personal life, all that takes effect in wrestling. So maybe he just wasn't the right fit for it. Like if WWE forced it, maybe it just wouldn't have worked out anyways. So I think he made the decision that was best for his career and best for his mental health and spiritual health, and I applaud him for that. I think he's doing great.
The way I understood it, didn't Big Cass get released because of his attitude and stuff backstage?
There was a temperament backstage, yes.
Yeah, so WWE felt at that time it was the correct move to release him. A lot of times WWE will release stars and they go out and build themselves a bigger name and build themselves bigger, like you say. He's a monster. They build themselves up and create a huge name for themselves, and then WWE, it's down the road, if the talent is doing good and they know that they're not going to cause problems backstage and whatnot, they're willing to bring them back on board. And I feel that that's probably something that will happen. I feel that down the road, WWE is going to say, "Oh wow, he's a huge star now. He's this monster. We could bring him in. Like, let's bring him in. Let's put him in a match with someone like Drew McIntyre, or if Brock is still a relevant thing at that time, bring him in to face him. There's all the possibilities, but with the way things were going with Cass's career in WWE and current time, it just wasn't his time to be in the WWE. He needed to go out there and explore his other options, make other options for himself, build his name, and then come back bigger, better than ever.
I agree with you. It wasn't his time, but you should see the guy now. Holy shit. I mean, this guy did a 360. He ain't panting in the ring no more. He's
Good.
jacked up. This guy has done a 360, and I'm just very impressed and had to bring him up tonight, honestly. And then, we kind of go into an opinion question, but I was curious to hear everyone's answers tonight. The best big man ever can be from any company, any era, in your opinion. Who did it the best?
Jeez.
Save the best.
You're talking
Do what?
heavyweight, super heavyweight.
We're talking
Yeah.
them big boys, Kevin Nash, Big
like
Show,
Kevin Nash, Big Show.
Andre the Giant.
I mean, honestly, my opinion, anyone that really, really made it as far as the big guys would have been the Big Show. I mean, I feel like he got the most out of his career. He did win opportunities. He won titles. He really showed his dominance in the ring. I feel like a lot of them other bigger guys just kind of came and then they kind of faded out, kind of like the Great Khali. He came in as this dominant, monstrous force. I remember when he debuted against The Undertaker, when Undertaker was out there beating down Mark Henry. He comes out there and just destroys The Undertaker in the ring. But then all of a sudden he's flipped into this dancing gimmick. Now, and then Big Show has done his silly stunts in WWE, don't get me wrong. But he always came back bigger, badder than ever just to prove his point. So, I mean, I'd have to say the Big Show myself personally.
You think the Big Show is the best because of his career, or just because you think he's like the best big man?
Just overall, with his career being the best big man, just because he actually had a full career out.
No, I do give Big Show definitely his props. Definitely, that man has definitely. I've seen that man do a kip up. Like, how many big men can really do that? Like, there's not very many. You know what I'm saying? But my big man pick would still have to be Keith Lee. Keith Lee, because yes, there are bigger men, but how often do you see a 300-something pound man running the ropes as fast as he can and hop over the ropes into a crowd of people like he can? When do you see a big man jump off the top rope and spin around, do like flying kicks as much as he does, drop kicks? You don't. He's a big. It's like having a smaller man in a big man body. And he keeps up with the rest of the smaller guys, but he's just massive. It's like a big, massive wrecking ball just bouncing between the ropes.
Think about what about Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman's quick, but he's not as agile as Keith Lee is.
Yeah.
Keith Lee does rolls, he does flips, all of that.
Yeah.
That's the it factor big man for me.
Yeah, Braun Strowman's agile if it's a straight line.
Yes. Yes.
But if there's some movement where you got to go left or right, it slows down quite a bit. Yeah, it slows down quite a bit. It picks back up real quickly, don't get me wrong, but it does slow down. Keith Lee does not slow down.
No.
Keith Lee does not slow down. But my favorite big man in the business is Kevin Nash. I always admired his heel ability, how he drawed the crowd in all his promos. Just from WCW work with the NWO and then coming to WWE and dealing with CM Punk and that feud with Triple H, wrestling Triple H, he went to TNA, was dominant over there, was in the main event Mafia with a lot of other Hall of Famers. He just, in my opinion, had an all around really good big man career and has a lot of good friends in the business and is respected in the business.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I can
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah.
I can respect that. I get
Now we, oh, go ahead. Sorry, brother. I didn't mean
no,
to
no.
cut you
I
off.
was just agreeing. I was just saying I can get behind that.
John Cena getting into a little dispute with the bloodline.
Yeah.
Billy, you're a John Cena fan, so why don't you take off on this one?
So John Cena, we know 2 weeks ago John Cena got into a little bit of a dispute with Jimmy Uso in the middle of the ring, and he straight out said to him to his face, "The wrong Uso quit." And we've always said it. Jey Uso has always been the better Uso. He's main event Jey Uso. Jimmy was always out because of DUIs or issues with his background, crime. No, and then Jimmy tries to hit him with a super kick, and John Cena hits him with an attitude adjustment. Last night, the bloodline tried to get the better of John Cena uh, during his interview with the Grayson Waller effect. And Jimmy came out there to spit some words, talk his trash. John couldn't get a word in otherwise because nobody would give him a chance to even talk, which is kind of shocking because usually John Cena, it's the other way around. John Cena is usually telling him to shut the fuck up, pretty much. But then after Jimmy come out, here comes Solo coming out to stick his nose face to face John Cena's. Then, playing that off like he wasn't going to attack John Cena, then hitting him with a super kick. But once again, John Cena and AJ Styles, who came out to the rescue, got the better of the bloodline. So I feel like this is going somewhere, I guess. I guess John Cena's supposed to have a few more matches before he calls it, hangs up the boots or whatever again for a while. And I think that we're going to see probably a Jimmy Uso versus John Cena match here in the near future.
I'm hoping more for a John Cena versus Solo match. To be honest,
That's been rumored.
I'm not excited to see Jimmy Uso. I really don't really have very many words for the guy. Like he's just poor performance, poor deal, poor face, poor. It's not that great.
All
but
the
as far as,
promos are the same.
yeah, but as far as John Cena goes, I mean, as right now, as far as his return goes, he's doing a pretty damn good job. He's doing a damn good job doing this little thing out there. I think him coming back for like the month and a half that he's back is pretty decent. I enjoy it. I fuck with it. I think that this bloodline story, hopefully it circles back to Roman, but one can only see. I mean, you all heard tonight, my boy LA Knight put out a challenge towards every
Champion on the board.
with gold. So
Except for Dominic.
you don't want that. You don't want an NXT champion. He wants WWE champion gold. He already came from NXT. You don't want to go back there. What's the point of doing that?
Well, there was that thing that was posted. It was I guess you call it a meme on Facebook that showed a picture of John Cena Umaga face to face, 2003, and then 20 years later, 2023, is saying that Solo is going to finish what Umaga couldn't do, and he's not going to. He's not going to beat John Cena. You're not going to beat the GOAT. Yeah, that
A-Town down.
He had to play it dirty to get that victory, though.
Okay, John Cena's wrestled with the dirtiest of the dirty.
Yeah.
For that.
But if Austin had actually stayed face to face with John Cena in that match, John Cena would have had it won.
But one little detail I was waiting to see if one of you gentlemen brought up. Paul Heyman pulled out that cell phone. Did you hear him whisper in the Solo's ear? Did you hear him tell him, save Jimmy, save Jimmy? That was a direct order from Roman Reigns himself. But I've been reading all over the internet, and we're going to address this rumor and our opinions about this rumor. The Rock came back, yes. He handled Austin Theory in a very nice fashion, in my
No
opinion.
interaction with the bloodline at all, though, on SmackDown.
Oh,
No. But with this writer's block in Hollywood, it has opened up a lot of free time for John Cena and The Rock. So, do you guys think was that a one-off deal, or do you think he'll be back?
Um, I feel like as long as this writer's block thing is going on with Hollywood, we're probably going to see a little more of The Rock kind of coming back. We may see some matches lined up, but I don't think it's going to be a long down the road kind of thing. I think it's going to be a few matches and then that'll be it. Um, the rumors going around. Who knows who Roman's opponent's going to be at WrestleMania 40? It could be Cody Rhodes to finish up the story. It could be The Rock to finally do what people have been wanting for like 2 years. Who knows? So, but yeah, I think there'll be a few matches involved. I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing though.
I hope it's a long-term thing. I just know it won't be, just because, I mean, let's be real. Both of these men are high-paid movie actors, and they're fairly good at what they do. They have other things that pay them well, better than this. Not saying that they're only in this for the money, but I mean, this this what they're doing now is almost secondary to what them being in the WWE is secondary to what they usually do now. Like, they have like TV shows, they got series, they got movies coming out. They're stars. They're Hollywood stars at this. So just to have these two back in the same area, in the same ring, that's a lot. It's a lot. So it will be limited. It will be very limited. Um, but I enjoy it. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing here. And I agree with Billy. It could go a lot of different ways. I hope that there is some interaction with the Bloodline and The Rock. I hope that Roman Reigns feel like The Rock is kind of stepping on his toes or some shit. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Troy, you appreciate a good heel.
I do. I do.
So, how are you feeling about Shinsuke Nakamura's heel run right now towards Seth Rollins?
Because it's Shinsuke, I feel like it's unique. I feel like it's different. I like it. However, um, you know, I feel like Shinsuke could have done something better at this point in time. But I like his heel capabilities. I like his storyline. I like how he tells the story. I like how he's kind of eerie and he's honorable, but also dishonorable as fuck. Like, I like it. I like this side of him because it's a side that he's never really played as before. So I like to see this. Like, he's played as like a heel, but not this dark, not to detail, not with people actually focusing on him being a heel. So I feel like this is good for him. I like it. I like it. I fuck with it. And plus the story between these two, the way that they go back and forth, both good entertainment men. You have two good entertainers up there. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got two great entertainers, but the fact that they're still kind of continuing what's going on, Seth's already proven his point. He already beat Shinsuke. I mean, I guess they're wanting to continue the storyline. I feel like if they were going to continue the storyline like this, they should have kind of maybe called it a disqualification or something for the first match. Kind of drug it out a little longer and then had the final match. And if they wanted to continue with Seth, obviously as a world champion, then have him actually pin him, and that'd be it. But they're kind of doing it in a weird twisted fashion right now. I mean, I'm not really digging it. So
Not really digging it. Big Baby Ben is digging it. He is digging the heel factor right now. Look, Seth Rollins does not look, he can cut a promo on his own and no rivalry, okay? And it still be one of the best promos that you heard in the last fucking 2 years. Seth Rollins is the number one. He was voted number one wrestler of the year. I can't argue with it. I can't disagree with it. Roman Reigns at number two. I mean, but yes, was he number two? Yes, yes, he was. But in all reality, Shinsuke right now is in his prime. Seth Rollins is in his prime. This is a great rivalry. The striking, the high flying, the reversibilities, the technicabilities, the ability for these two gentlemen that can run a wrestling match and not need help from the referee. It's two veterans going at it. You got the bad guy, you got the good guy. It's classic old school wrestling, and I'm just loving it. And then we go into the heel of the week. Troy, who do you got for heel of the week, brother?
Ooh, shit. Okay. Um, damn, that's a good one. Heel of the week. Heel of the week. Shit, that's an unexpected question. That is a hard question.
I mean, I'll give you mine. Heel of the week, I think honestly goes to Dominic Mysterio because that man draws from the crowd. He feeds off of that energy. He talks trash. He holds up his end of the bargain with the Judgment Day, and he's just absolutely loathed. I mean, people do not like him. They do not want to hear that man speak. They boo so loudly so that you can just barely catch a single word he's saying on that mic. So that's my pick for heel of the week is Dominic Mysterio.
My heel of the week goes out to the Miz. Still goes out to the Miz. I seen that little promo video that they cut between the Miz and LA Knight, and of course I loved it because like the Miz is what made that promo dope because the way that the Miz carried himself and has gone back and forth with this man, and despite the fact that the Miz has lost twice, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because like the way he continues to talk his shit, and just the way that he is so arrogant on the mic, he draws you in, no matter whether you actually love him or hate him. Even when he's a heel, you love him. Like that's a heel you actually love, and you actually really respect, which is strange for a lot of people. But the Miz is that man. I feel like he's got my vote for the week.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, the Miz just it doesn't matter if he's had his ass handed to him twice. I still got bigger balls than you. I could still beat you, dude. Shut up. Go home. He's been beaten twice.
Don't forget, he's a two-time Grand Slam champion.
Yep.
And don't forget, The Miz is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I think that title right now at this current moment goes to Gunther. Like
that's the longest reign. He ain't nowhere near.
The longest reign, but it's not the best reign.
But he's an amazing heel, and he knows how to deliver in the ring.
He's ever
been. He plays it that damn good.
But understand that Miz has been both, and he's two-time Grand Slam champion. The Miz is like I
don't know if that makes him the greatest of all time.
That makes it, bro. The Miz competes in matches that Gunther could not. Simple as that. You can't see Gunther in a fucking Money in the Bank match. You can see
Make it official, WWE. Gunther versus The Miz.
in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Let's do it.
And I guarantee The Miz will show out.
I mean, we're at that 10-minute buzzer, but we're going to continue talking about The Miz because we're getting a good rise out of Billy the Kid for some reason. 8 Intercontinental title reigns for The Miz. 8 Intercontinental title reigns. Yes, Billy Gunther. You know I'm a huge Gunther fan. And 460 plus days as Intercontinental Champion is impressive. But is he in the same category for greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time? Chris Jericho is up there. The Miz is up there. But Gunther, he needs a couple more.
Even Dolph Ziggler, I would put Dolph Ziggler's title.
Oh, yes.
I would.
I just feel like with the way he's handling himself right now, and the way he's holding that title and the time frame he's held it, I mean, you got Roman Reigns heading for a historical run You know, he's already surpassed some of the greatest names in history of WWE. But I feel like Gunther has really held his own when it comes to that title and making it relevant with the time frame that he's held it. I mean, you guys can spit everything you want at me as far as who do you think the greatest of all time is. I don't see as I don't see the amount of titles you've held versus how long you've held the title and how well you've made that title relevant and how often you're defending it and standing up to people week in and week out with that title. I feel like that makes you one of the greatest because you're willing to do it. You're willing to be there every chance you've got to be able to defend that title.
I think Gunther's boring. I think it's fucking boring.
Remember one of the best Intercontinental title runs of all time by The Miz. And I think Troy Black will agree with me here. Whenever he had Maurice and he had Bo Dallas and he had Curtis Axel with him, and he was wearing them suits out to the ring and had them boys in suits. Now that was a good little faction they were building up right there, and they dropped the ball on it once again. Look, Billy, you gotta admit, man, The Miz had an impactful career and is a future Hall of Famer.
Definitely.
I don't doubt that with The Miz. I don't
He
take that
came.
away from him.
He came to play, Billy.
We're not talking about his career as a whole. We're talking about who we feel one of the greatest of all times is. As far as the Intercontinental title itself goes.
That's not fair because when he asked you about who you thought was the biggest big man, you made sure you labeled the Big Show's career. And we weren't talking about careers. You can't renege on it now.
But he didn't specify a specific topic when he talked about that. He just said who was the greatest big man. He didn't say we can't talk about their career. He said we can't talk about this.
And he's saying
He specifically said who's the greatest of all time when it comes to their Intercontinental title.
Which is the same question. It's the same question, just about a different topic.
I don't take away from The Miz. I don't take away with his whole career what he's done and accomplished with his career. But I will never say that The Miz is one of my favorites. I do not like The Miz.
Okay, I hate it.
I'm gonna say this right on the camera, Miz. I fucking hate you. I don't. No.
So that means he's doing his job right now. And that's why he gets paid the good bucks, because he does his job.
That's why he can wear the Versace and Armani
That's
suits.
what I say about every heel in the business. When they're doing it and they're pissing you the fuck off, they're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
That's why he goes to sleep in his Gucci flip-flops at night knowing that he pissed you off.
Oh, shit.
I like his last promo to John Cena where he said, "You're still dressed like a Teletubby and I'm wearing a $10,000 suit." Like,
I liked it. I fucked with it.
I see. That's the entertainment the Miz brings. See, look, that bothers a John Cena fan immensely. That he called that that damn T-shirt a Teletubby.
John Cena is one of the badass motherfucking superstars in WWE history. John Cena has delivered in the ring, in and out. He has faced some of the biggest damn names, and he has came to show out.
He came to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to hype John Cena, but I'm going to hype up The Miz. See, you're a John Cena fan, and I'm not. I'm a Miz fan, and you're not.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That means we can have this debate back and forth all damn night.
And I'm a Brock Lesnar guy, so
damn near think the Miz had a better championship reign when it comes down to when it comes down you looking at his resume. It's almost better than both of them.
I agree with that.
Both of them. Doesn't matter about who he competed against, and when they look at the championships and how many he's won, it's almost better.
Once again, I said I don't feel like it's about the time frame that you held.
No, it has
the
nothing to do
amount of
with
titles you held. It's the amount of time you held on.
It has nothing to do with that because when they run your shit and they're like, yeah, 8 times this, 6 times that, 4 times that, 2 times that. They don't say, oh, he was 8 times this for for a total of 400. Blah, blah, blah. They don't do that. They just say what it was and what it is. That's your accolade. That's your plaque on the wall, bro.
Well, that takes you to Charlotte Flair, who's held on to what 15, 14 titles. And almost every one of them have been short-lived reigns that really didn't go anywhere. It was just about putting the title on her damn waist because of her name.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. You hold a title, that's on your resume permanently. You can say that. No matter whether you hold that motherfucker for a day, for 12 seconds, or 12 minutes. It don't matter. You can hold it for 12 years. It does not matter.
How dare you attack the queen, Billy? How dare you attack the
Years.
queen? That is wrestling. That is wrestling royalty. How dare you?
Don't you know?
Don't you fucking look? That is the greatest of all time's daughter, which will be the greatest of all time in the female division. The greatest of all time. The GOAT, the greatest, the one that invented the shit talking promos and really talking shit and pissing people off with it. Okay, he got swag, Billy. Have you seen his last like 6 wives, 5 wives? Oh my god.
Ric Flair made his name. He held gold, like he held it and made it relevant. I don't feel like bringing Charlotte Flair in to win a title just to lose it on the next pay-per-view, just so she can have another title on her waist, makes her that great. I don't feel like it does. I feel like getting the title and actually defending it, holding it for a period of time, and then dropping it and maybe winning another one down the road makes you one of the greatest of all times.
Woo! That makes you the greatest of all time. So we're going to go ahead and move into honorable mentions. Billy the Kid, who you got?
Shoot. Honorable mention of the week goes out to Augustus Draven. We're looking forward to it again, like I said last night, to having you on the podcast. SCW, we look forward to talking more about that in the future. You know, as we start digging into it, we're super excited. So that's my honorable mention.
My honorable mention goes out to RCW. You know, we've heard a lot about you guys. We got a little bit of footage, you guys. So hopefully, you know, we'll link up with you guys soon for a good chat.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to you guys.
So shout out to RCW, Beast Slayer, my cousin getting it in, the current tag team champion of the world of RCW right now. Set to defend his titles on the 22nd, and that will be a function to support a gentleman with brain cancer. If you're in the Oblong, Illinois region, Crawford County region, my hometown, shout out. Please go pay the tickets. You know, go watch him wrestle and help this guy out with his brain cancer, okay? I'm Big Baby Ben.
Billy the Kid.
Troy Black, baby.
This has been another amazing episode of Wrestling the Bros. Thank you, guys.